Regular council meeting is now called to order Tuesday, June the 15th, 2021, 6:30 p.m. And I'm going to ask you to call the roll, please.
Okay. Counselor Stevenson, not here this evening. Could you please mute your phone?
Is it called attendance yet?
I'm doing it now. Give me a minute, Counselor Martin.
All right.
Counselor Gowdy,
Present.
Counselor Martin,
Present, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Counselor Smith
Present.
and Counselor Austin.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay, so the roll. Any remarks from the public? Any remarks from the public? Agenda
No.
items, only 2 minutes. Let's move on to the minutes to be reproved.
We have regular council. Well, we have no presentations. at this time.
O'May's just,
Go ahead, O'May.
Mr. O'May's just walked in and I'm going to let him speak.
Okay,
Victoria, pull the agenda down a little bit, hon.
I'm concerned about, I believe it's the first one on there about the raising a building on Noble. And I would like to ask the council, did they get the information in reference to that building? I see it's on the agenda tonight. Information, I guess, they see. And they said it was an emergency, whether it's an emergency or not, it still come before council for council to approve it. or what have you. So I'm just concerned as to whether you received the information in which you requested. And it is also baffling to me. I cannot fathom all of the problem. I mean, the property that is being sold is for $100. And I'm wondering, is that because of the election that's coming up? And then again, there's council also included in here getting property. It must go before the citizens first, because council and administration have the first, they see it before the public sees it. And they must notify the public or put it out there for the public if they are interested in the property. They should have first choice and not council getting the property or administration. So those are my comments. And I would like some answers at the end. You people are running for this and city, they do not respond to the citizens. And I don't know whom they are serving. So they can't serve the citizen if they don't want to listen to the citizens.
Right. Things you learn to draw when you're
Mr. O'May, we did get some information about the building that got burned down on Noble.
there's a whole bunch of them.
And next we need the minutes to be approved.
this is the regular council meeting minutes for May 18th, 2021.
Proceed.
With
Madam Clerk, I'll make a motion that the regular council meetings for 5/18/21 be approved.
Is there a
Second.
second?
I second it. I second it.
Okay, Victoria, Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Sure. Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Austin.
Yay.
Minutes for May 18th, 2021 has been approved. Next, we have reports and announcements of the mayor. Is there someone here to speak on behalf of the mayor?
Well, let's go to the receipts of the communication.
Okay, we don't have any receipts of communication at this time. Next, we have reports from council committees. The personnel and appointments, the next meeting is going to be June 23rd at 6:30.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Sure.
Personnel and Appointments Committee responsibility is to look at personnel in 9 city departments: finance, fire, HR, IT, police, law, building and housing, service, and community development. The Personnel and Appointments Committee last met on May 6, 2021. What came out of those meetings were 2 new appointments to the Civil Service Commission, Reverend David Hunter and Mr. William Underwood. The next Personnel and Appointments Committee meeting will be on June 23rd at 6:30 p.m. Via the Zoom platform. If we change it to in-person, we will definitely let everyone know. That is my goal, to have a in-person meeting on June 23rd. Although we are going in recess, we always have the option to still conduct our meetings during the summer breaks. Thank you. Thank you, Madam Clerk. That concludes my Personnel and Appointments Committee report. Thank you.
Counselor Smith. Next, we have contracts and property. Counselor Gowdy.
I don't have a date on that meeting. That's the next meeting that we're going to be having.
I believe,
I will announce it at a later date.
okay,
Counselor Gowdy, I think that meeting, we talked, you were going to have one September 3rd.
Because it's not down. So September the 3rd.
does that conclude your report, Counselor Gowdy?
That is,
Okay,
yes.
next we have Counselor Martin, Health and Safety.
Yes, health and safety, I am not sure whether we're gonna meet in July because it's the summer. It all depends on something more important. The update, once a month, the update is, there have been some guns turned in the gun buyback program. And this summer, we're gonna try to concentrate on getting more of the flyers out in the gun buyback program. Also, the Governor DeWine, and that's come up in a meeting with the chief, $13 million for body cams. And hopefully there's a connection with the administration to go after that money. That's not COVID money, it's money for body cams because of the issues in Columbus. Those are the key issues. We met about maybe a few weeks ago at the school to get young people to become firefighters and police officers. And we're working on that. And I want to thank Chief Warden for the fire and Chief Gardner for the police. That's basically where we're at this point. So I'll know probably within probably the first week of July whether I want to have a meeting in July at all or not. Summertime I usually don't. So that concludes Madam Clerk, Health and Safety. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Counselor Martin. Next, we have General Services and Administration, Counselor Austin.
Greetings. Thank you, Madam Clerk. The General Services Administration did have a meeting where we discussed multiple pieces of legislation, which will be on our agenda tonight. And as we start taking a look at the we talked about the cleanup that we had on June 8th, correction, on May 8th. And we're discussing setting a new date for the next cleanup and more to follow on that actual date. We had some vehicles that have been moved around in areas where the city's fleet was being affected by vehicles that were no longer of value or of good use to the city. So if you look around the city, you'll see that a lot of those vehicles have been consolidated near the service department where they're being processed for either being sold or scrapped. So that's definitely moving in the right direction. And one of the notes that we didn't capture during the last meeting, that now we have a new awning on the backside of City Hall where the other one was tattered, torn, and not looking as a good representation of our great city. Over the last couple of days, for general services note, I took one about having contacted the Regional Transit Authority, the RTA, about doing something about our graffiti. Myself and the service director, Mr. Marshall, are working on a plan to get rid of some of this graffiti across the city. So more to follow on that. As far as the next General Services Administration meeting, it will be in person. And I want to confer with my colleagues to make sure that we have enough personnel available to actually conduct the meeting, but it will be in person. Thank you very much, Councilor Smith, for blazing away. And that's all I have for General Service. Madam Clerk, if you would, let me know when the next opportunity, when the council can get together, although we're going to we can meet and discuss the issue that may hinder the city. Thank you very much. That's all I have for General Services.
Thank you, Councilor Austin. Finance Committee summer session meeting will be December. And also there will be regular council meeting for the July and August to be determined as well. Could you please mute your mics? Appreciate that. Next, we have proclamations. We have a proclamation for Phyllis Elaine Walcott Jennings Thomas. Councilor Smith, will you be reading that?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. It'll be an honor to read this proclamation.
Everybody, Victoria.
Can you please mute your phone, please? Thank you. Office of City Council, City of East Cleveland proclamation. Whereas Phyllis Elaine Walcott Jennings Thomas was born June 21st, 1930, and attended Our Lady of Blessed Sacrament School and Church, the first Black Catholic parish in the Diocese of Cleveland, and received her sacrament of Holy Communion in 1939. She attended St. Edward's High School, graduated in 1949, and started a career in the garment industry as a seamstress. She inherited her love of sewing from her grandmother, who was also a seamstress. Whereas Phyllis Elaine Walcott Jennings Thomas was a resident of the city of East Cleveland for over 50 years and an active member of the 3rd Avenue Street Club. After the closing of Our Lady of Blessed Sacrament, Phyllis joined St. Adalbert Catholic Church and was a member until her death. She was also an active member of the Ladies of St. Peter Claver, an auxiliary group of the Knights of St. Peter Claver. Phyllis volunteered with the Hunger Center of Cleveland for many years until its closing. Having an eye and love for antiques and thrifting, she opened her businesses, Cedar Thrift Shop, which sat on the corner of East 86th and Cedar Avenue. She operated the store until 2001 and entered retirement. Whereas Phyllis Elaine Walcott Jennings Thomas's store was a staple of the developing Fairfax business district. During retirement, she continued hobbies of stamp collecting, crafting, and thrifting. an avid reader. Her library contained a variety of topics ranging from African American studies to Native American herbal practices. And she continued to be a constant supporter of her children, grandchildren, and extended family. Now, therefore, on behalf of the City Council and Mayor Brandon L. King, we acknowledge the life of Phyllis Elaine Walcott Jennings Thomas and hereby express our deepest condolences to the family and friends on her passing on June 2nd, 2021. She will be forever missed by a host of loving family, friends, and colleagues as she rests peacefully in heaven. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Counselor Smith.
Next, we move to the legislation.
The first legislation is Resolution 28-21, a resolution authorizing the mayor to a resolution authorizing the mayor to accept the amendment to amend fiscal year 2019 action plan, an additional $110,800 in the CDBG CV19 funds, excuse me, as well as the fiscal year 2021 action plan encompassing a CDBG budget of $1,151,499 and a home allocation of $273,411 and declaring an emergency for the public health, safety, and welfare.
I just need to know, is this emergency? Is this an emergency?
As, Madam Chairman, it says in the last
So
sentence
we
in
have
the
to
body, the public health and safety, yeah.
Never say this.
Victoria, do you have this down as an emergency?
Emergency is in the body. I'm showing a second read placed on the agenda today for today's agenda as a second read. It was a second read at the regular council meeting on June 1st. And then received amended legislation from the law department to include the $110,800. And then it was placed back on the agenda as a second read for today.
So why is the emergency is in the body?
Can I make a note?
Hold up,
Okay.
Councilman Austin, I need to
Thank
ask
you.
a question. Yeah, Victoria,
Yeah, I don't know why emergency is in the body because the preamble has not been changed or amended. So this was in, has been in the Finance Committee since March 23rd. And it was placed on the regular agenda on April 6th as a first read. So it's never been addressed as an emergency.
I would like to see if the mayor here, because he should be off a vacation.
No, he just went on vacation.
No, he been on vacation for a while.
Councilor Vice President Gowdy, this is Charles,
Yeah.
if I may speak.
Just, Councilman Austin, you can speak.
Vice President, before he speaks, are you filling in for the mayor, Charles?
Yes.
I'm filling in the role as the finance director who will be able to answer any questions that you may have, or at least attempt to.
My question to you, Charles, are you filling in for the mayor? The mayor's not here.
Yeah,
And-
somebody have to.
And
Where's
the law director's not here, so are you filling in for the mayor? I'm asking you a simple question, sir.
Yes, Counselor Martin, if you want me to fill in for the mayor, I'll be filling in for the mayor.
All right, somebody's got to fill in for him. And the mayor's is not here, okay? I just needed to know for the record. Thank you.
Yes, and,
And for the record, the assistant law director is present as well.
All right.
Thank you.
it-
And secretary.
the assistant law director is not, to, Austin speak before Charles speaks.
Greetings, Councilwoman Gowdy. I was actually taking a look at the information and this is indeed a second read. And it's coming back as the amendments have been made to this document. So it's just basically a second read and not an emergency. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Charles, you may go.
Council President, Vice President Gowdy, that is basically, I was gonna say the same thing as Counselor Austin has mentioned that, so there won't be any confusion or to, as far as what this legislation is stating, it's a second read. And so, outside of that, this has been an ongoing discussion, and I will believe or hope that at this point, all questions or concerns have been addressed for council. Thank you.
Madam Clerk, Madam Chair, I would like to co-sponsor, please, if that's not a problem.
Okay,
Thank you.
sure.
Madam Clerk,
Yes.
I like to sponsor, Madam President, I like to
Yes.
sponsor resolution 2821 move for its adoption.
Second,
Any discussion?
I would just like to say that we really need this action plan passed. I thank everyone for at least getting to a second read and able to vote on it now. Is so many activities that are being held up. Again, this was presented to us 3 months ago, so I want to thank all parties involved on behalf of the people of East Cleveland. Thank you.
and I also want to make sure I'm sponsoring too. Thank you.
Yes, you are listed.
Okay, recall the roll,
Counselor Gowdy,
abstain.
I need a yay or a nay. They never,
I can abstain.
Counselor Martin, Counselor- Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Austin.
Yay!
Resolution 2821 has passed. Next, we have ordinance 38.
No, it did not. It did not pass.
No, means you out of order. You're out of order.
No, you got to order, because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need
Okay, let's go back. Okay, we're saying it did not pass.
no, it did not pass.
It passed. That's
passed.
old Mays. He's not on council. Madam Clerk, we just have to scratch out the word emergency. This legislation was a second read. It only takes 3 people to pass a second read. We all know that. Thank you.
This is on there as a second read. This did pass.
Thank you.
3821.
Remove the emergency, it still say emergency. You need 4 votes. You did not amend the legislation as a regular piece of legislation.
Councilwoman Gowdy, can I address that, please?
This is why I wanted to address this at first. The emergency should never be in here as emergency. And then
Can I address it, please?
you really, Mr. Austin, you can go.
Thank you very much. And I don't, most of the information that comes before us, the tracking of what process the legislation is in is on the top of the legislation. It says first read, second read, and or emergency. Oftentimes there may be a notice to advise us and or the public that this is indeed important. And this is not a gesture of where the legislation is in the tracking process. If we wanted to change it to an emergency, we would have replaced second read with emergency, but it wouldn't be prudent to replace second read because the second read says it's time to vote today. So that would be the information I'd like to leave with today. So we did not vote to make it an emergency. We are making sure that we were all in agreement that this was indeed a second read, not an emergency. And it is important to the people. And that's just a notice to be advised that it is indeed important to the people. Thank you.
But according to this, the body, it says emergency. So that's what y'all
In the
voted on.
preamble,
You should amend this first.
Okay, well, I will make sure that I would like to make a motion since we've not voted yet. Actually, the legislation has passed as a second read. If you would like, if it is your pleasure, I will make a motion to
you got to-
track
Make
the
a
vote.
motion to rescind your vote.
That's
Start
correct.
over again, please.
And I will do that. So I would like to make a motion to rescind the vote for 28-21. And with the opportunity to amend the body of the legislation to reflect that it is not an emergency. It is truly a second read without challenge. That's my motion.
Let's do them all separate votes. Let's do them all separate motions. Counselor Austin, do the first
Okay.
motion to rescind the vote first.
Madam Clerk,
We only put one motion on the floor. Now, hold on, let's let that man speak. Let's everybody slow down. He only said one motion.
Right, let's do the first motion to rescind the vote, please.
There is
That's what he,
I'm trying to second it. Everybody's jumping in. I second Mr. Austin's motion.
Call for the vote, please.
Is there any more discussion about this?
We have
yes. Again, it is very important that we pass the action plan. There are so many projects that are being held up right now because the action plan is not passed. This has been in front of us for 3 months. I'm trying not to go into the list of things that are being held up. Please, we all know how important this is. We speak on this every week. Thank you.
This really fell as a first read. And as
First re-
we need a new number with this. So I'm going to.
No, absolutely, no,
All right,
no.
Okay,
I'm definitely gonna keep it in.
all right, Mr. Austin, you are making a motion to rescind the vote.
On the floor.
That was the motion on the floor to make sure that the
It's over
council,
because the vote is over and we need
well,
to. We need to.
it passed then.
We,
It passes the second reading. Well, it is a opportunity for us to make sure that procedures have been properly followed.
Okay,
And if we fail to do so, we are, all out of order. So there's a motion on the floor to rescind the vote in order to make the correction. So there's no future discussion about whether it is an emergency, which the tracking of the legislation said first read, second read, or an
Okay.
emergency. Those are your options.
okay, so we have a motion to rescind the vote by Counselor Austin, second by Counselor Martin. Can I call the roll?
Please.
Counselor Gowdy?
you cannot call
No,
no
no,
vote
no.
right now, ma'am.
Okay,
it's still in discussion. Hold up, please, and let me, think about what we on here, because everybody is all confused, and I do not like to be confused, especially when it says emergency on it. This fell as an emergency for one thing.
It did not.
At the end of
Councilwoman Gowdy, can I have a word, please?
At the end of the meeting, make a motion to bring it back as the first read. Definitely fell as emergency.
It is not an emergency. Legislation did not fail. It's unfortunate that at this point, we may not understand where to look for tracking the legislation. I think the clerk should have an opportunity to explain the tracking of the legislation and verify based on her tracker that she has a responsibility to maintain for legislation, whether it's an emergency and or a second read. That's easy to do. Just look at the tracker and see. Thank you.
We can bring it back, like I said, at the end of the meeting, and it fell as emergency, and I'm going to ask.
That's negative. It wasn't an emergency. It was getting bad information.
Move
So
on to the next legislation. Right.
Councilwoman
Opinion of the
Gowdy,
law department.
Councilwoman Gotti, with all due respect, there's three other members of council on the line, and it's real easy to strike out the word emergency with Councilman Austin's motion that he put on the floor. It's real easy. I mean, all he's asking is to strike out the mistake that was made with the word emergency added. Is real plain to see that this legislation been in front of us for months. I mean, it was on second read June 1st. It was on second read June 1st. I mean, again, finance director and community development director, if you can run down to the people just some things that are put in danger by not passing this action plan, please. Please.
Council.
Yes, Councilman.
To move on, and we will bring it back. But right now, we going to go into the 21. Thank you.
can I make one
Madam
more comment?
Gowdy, it's a motion on the floor, Madam Gowdy. It's a motion. I just want you to do everything right. You are doing an excellent job so far. It is a motion on the floor. I mean, you can even turn around and ask Omaze. It's a motion on the floor. You don't have to believe me. If you don't want to believe me, turn around and ask Omaze. It's a motion on the floor right now, so we can't move on. We have to vote on the motion.
And I'm not going to say this no more, Councilman. You is out of order for one thing. But if you want to bring Omaze for his advice, he's going to tell you.
We have.
Omaze, could you please speak to Councilman Smith?
and not only to Smith, Mr. Smith, it's to the council as a whole. The legislation failed because it's an emergency. The emergency is in the preamble.
That's not what I was asking you, so thank you, sir.
I'll get to that. I'll get to that part. Let me just finish. You asked me, and
I asked you about a specific part. Don't worry about it.
Mr. Smith, will you please, Councilman, let him speak, please.
Don't try to get a narrative like I'm out of line. Do you know how many things that you are putting in danger? Do you know how many situations you are putting in danger out here?
Mr. Smith, please. I asked.
Mr. Otis Maggs, you are not a member of council.
You asked for me to speak, and I will tell you the right way.
And you didn't answer that specific question, sir.
Mr. Smith, you cannot go back there. You do it at the end of the meeting. You go back to that piece.
First of all, you are not the dictator. She is over there listening to you. You are not on council. There's a motion on the floor from Councilman Austin, period. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Excuse me.
On to the next piece of legislation, Victoria.
Is it a motion on the floor or not? That's what I was asking. Did Mr. Omaze answer that question?
According to Robert's rules, move it to the end of the meeting. And go back, please.
Just had a motion on the floor. Come on now.
Wow.
Can we get a decision
Let's move to 38
from the law department
dash
on
21,
opinion?
please.
Tracy, can you pull up the legislation 2821? I wanted to see if it said emergency with 4/5 in the body.
Yeah, I don't have any of that. Somebody's on my computer at the office. I can't get to it.
Madam Clerk,
trying
we
to go
cannot
into
hold
this,
this up no longer. Will you please
Not gonna be in the body. Let me pull mine up.
move forward? Will you please move forward?
Yeah, Victoria, can you change the screen, please, sweetie, and put the agenda back up?
We got a lot of stuff and we will be
I
here
got the
for hours.
agenda up.
We
You
cannot
can't-
go back and forth.
Yeah, it still shows the proclamation.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
That piece of legislation is time sensitive. If it does not get passed, HUD will not release the funds.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
3821, thank you.
Just one moment, Counselor Gowdy.
Yeah, I've worked with HUD funds for over 30 years. This is very time sensitive.
Tired of y'all playing with the people, man.
Will you please read 3821?
I'm getting there, Counselor Gowdy. Give me one moment, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Can you see?
And
the-
please note that the McGregor project is dependent upon this.
Mr. Leach, your deputy is out of order, please.
Can everybody see the agenda?
Yeah, the agenda's on the screen now.
3821, this is an ordinance. An ordinance authorizing all actions necessary to accept Northeast Ohio Public Energy Council, NOPEC 2021 Energized Community Grant in the amount of $23,244. This is a second read.
I would like to co-sponsor this.
Okay.
I'm glad to hear that. I'd like to sponsor ordinance 3821 and move for its adoption, please.
Any
Second. Second.
discussion?
Now, we've discussed this in NOPEC. We've been dealing with them for the last few years, and it's a win-win situation. And if we get community grant in the amount of $23,244. So I'm passing this legislation, ordinance 3821.
Will you please call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Counselor Gowdy,
Yes.
Counselor Martin, Counselor Martin,
We'll enter in what will be.
Yeah,
your-
Madam Clerk, yay.
Counselor
Take
Smith,
a thing back and put in a much bigger thing back. Right? Now, what about the?
Counselor Smith,
Goes to my future past.
Yay.
Your phone, please.
Somebody mute your microphone.
Counselor Austin.
Yay.
Ordinance 3821 has passed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have ordinance 41-21, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to resurface the area of Shaw Avenue from Hayden to Manhattan as originally planned, costing $635,000, of which $250,000 will be from Cuyahoga County, and an additional $150,000 of CDBG funds will be used, bringing the total committed by the city's CDBG funds to $400,000, bringing the total amount for the Shaw resurfacing project to $650,000. This is a second read.
Oh, yeah,
I'd like to sponsor ordinance number 45-21 and move for its adoption.
Second that motion, Madam President.
any discussion?
Hold on, let me, my vision might be a little blurry. This said actually 4221. Is that right? Is that what y'all seeing?
I'm sorry, what did you,
Is that 4521? Trying to look on this little phone. So
I'm sorry.
4121, 4121.
41, correction, I want to
Excuse me.
sponsor ordinance number 4121 to move for its adoption.
Any second?
I second.
Any discussion? Let's
This
call
is-
the roll, Madam Clerk.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Austin.
Yay.
Ordinance 4121 has passed.
This is Director Leach. Can I speak to that?
You have been recognized. Yes, you can.
The CDBG budget to fund that project is dependent upon the action plan being passed.
Excuse me, it depends on what you're speaking on. What is your pledge?
What you just passed using CDBG funds is dependent upon the action plan being passed. We can't fund that if the action plan isn't passed.
Mr. Leach, we cannot go back because we just passed it. So
If I may speak, Counselor Gowdy? Council Vice President Gowdy, may I speak?
Representative said we're gonna go back to it near the end of the meeting, back to 28, 21.
at
We
the
need
end,
to, we need to get this 28, 21.
Yeah, just understand that you just put the cart before the horse.
Charles, you is out of
I asked you if somebody could recognize. I just wanted to mention that.
move on to the next resolution.
Next, we have ordinance 42-21, an ordinance to authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement to pay for nuisance abatement services performed by 3D Moore Enterprises LLC located at 2150 Noble Road, East Cleveland, Ohio 44112, executed pursuant to written orders to proceed from the city for the emergency demolition of the unsafe structure at 1820 Noble Road at the cost of $149,200.
Madam President.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I'd like to sponsor ordinance 4, move for its adoption.
Second. Second.
Okay, second.
You know what, this,
Any discussion?
Yes. If anyone comes to us and they do work, it's responsible for us to pay them. We've done pretty well the last few years. So this work has been done. There's a lot of situations, a lot of questions, but we've been back and forth with this for a little while. I think and I feel that the proper thing to do here is to pay this vendor, because this vendor may want to do business with us in other areas. And so I'm in favor of passing this. This is a responsible thing to do, is the thing that we need to do with anyone that does business with us and need to be paid. Thank you.
Any more discussion? Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
Counselor Gowdy,
Nay.
Counselor Smith,
Where is Smith at?
Counselor Smith,
I'm right here. Thank you. Is this a second read? It doesn't say second read on here.
You're correct. It came out of regular council. I mean, it came out of the finance committee on June 25th.
We are in the middle of voting.
I can ask a question. Thank you.
Councilor Smith, can I answer your question? On the actual legislation, it does say second read today.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yay.
Councilor Austin,
Yay.
ordinance 42-21 has passed.
Thank you very much. Let's move
Fail.
on.
It's an emergency.
Yeah, there's an emergency in here.
Next, we have resolution 43-21. A resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into a contract.
Gloria,
Yes,
Voting no.
Madam Clerk,
yes.
could you tell them that it did fail?
That was an emergency.
Because that was an emergency.
You didn't vote for?
No, this one, you're talking about 42-21? Are you? Hello? Are you speaking of 42-21?
Point of order. All the participants must mute their microphones. Everyone must mute their microphones unless you are speaking.
Yeah, Madam President, I'm looking at the body of the legislation and it says city for the emergency demolition of unsafe structures. So it was an emergency. That's my interpretation. So,
So can I add to that, please?
the status of 42-21.
Yeah, the legislation is
Yeah.
not an emergency. The demolition itself was the emergency. The
Right.
legislation is
That
not.
is correct. That is correct.
That means it's a first read then.
That is correct.
Is it the first
Oh, hold on 1 second. My question is, since it's not an emergency, is this a first read or can we amend it to an emergency?
You don't have enough votes.
Yeah, we got 4 votes here. Put in a motion to make this an emergency so we can get this done. We've been dealing with this long enough, okay?
The
All right,
council,
my motion, Madam, please, O'May.
It is
My-
an emergency up there.
Okay,
Councilor Martin,
yeah,
be sure before you make it an emergency that you have actual 4 yay votes.
yeah.
Otherwise, it would fail.
I'm,
Please be cognizant of that.
I'm looking at,
Please.
okay, are you with it, Miss Council? The motion was made,
Just make your motion.
okay, my motion is that we amend 42-21 to an emergency.
You can't amend something that's already emergency, Martin.
It's not an emergency, we just,
Don't get
please,
I don't
O'May,
care what
we
they say.
determined that it's not it's just the way it's written, it's not an emergency.
You don't see emergency up
No,
here in
you look at
the,
the wrong thing, this is the one, you look at the wrong legislation,
what is it, 40?
42-21.
Why is he even in the office?
One,
Okay.
Is there a second?
Why is he even in the office?
Is there a second?
Another point of
Thank you.
order. Only council may speak. We have outside residents speaking in the council chambers. You will either be silent or remove yourself.
Okay,
Was there a
my motion is on the floor to
Thank you.
amend it to emergency. The way you read it, it looked like an emergency, but it's not. So I can accept that. So the responsible thing I'm doing now is to put an amendment to make 42-21 emergency.
Is there a
Second.
second? Any discussion? Any discussion?
No,
We got that big old excuse me, I have a little bit of discussion, just to remind the council and for our residents' benefit. There was a request for information, and this is the information that was provided by the administration. This is everything pertains to the way tickets, pictures of the actual fire event. So everything that the council has requested has been provided. There is a measure of, support document that is way beyond what I've ever seen, period. This is almost a phone book full of information. If this is not substantial enough information for us as a body to make a decision, I am gravely concerned. Thank you.
Would you please, they voted to make this emergency. Will you please call the roll, please?
Okay, this is a motion to make 4221 and amend the legislation to make it an emergency.
Amendment, Madam Clerk, is to make it an emergency.
Right.
Okay.
Councilor Gowdy,
Yeah.
Councilor Martin,
Yay.
Councilor Smith,
We'll see how we voting on something we just voted on, but.
so are we? Hold on.
Yay, but we don't, we not about to have all
Are we
four to
gonna
vote.
rescind? Okay, so are we rescinding the
No,
vote?
no, let it go, let it go. Let it go.
Okay. So we got council, let me go back. Hold on, where's my page? Okay, so we got a yay for Councilor Gowdy, yay for Councilor Martin, Councilor Smith,
Yay.
Councilor Austin.
Yay.
The motion to amend ordinance 4221 to an emergency has passed.
Now, read it over again, Madam Clerk. Read it over with the emergency
Okay.
attached to it, please.
Ordinance 42-21, an ordinance to authorize the mayor to enter into an agreement to pay for nuisance abatement services performed by 3D Moore Enterprises LLC, located at 2150 Noble Road, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112, executed pursuant to written orders to proceed from the city for the emergency demolition of the unsafe structure at 1820 Noble Road at the cost of $149,200 and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. Now, I move to sponsor ordinance 4221 as amended for its adoption.
Is there a second?
Second.
Was that-
Second.
Okay.
Discussion? Any discussion?
No, we discussed this long enough, please.
We'll call the roll.
Councilor Gowdy,
Nay.
What?
You
say nay? I thought you said.
Councilor Martin,
Yay.
Councilor Smith,
Yay.
Councilor Austin.
Yay.
Ordinance 42-21 has failed. Next, we have resolution 43-21. This is a resolution to authorize the mayor to enter into a contract with Cleveland Housing Network, CHN, and McGregor to provide $100,000 of home program funds for the addition of 124 units, with 106 being affordable to households at or below 60% of the area median income, and 18 units being unrestricted market value apartments, and declaring an emergency.
Madam Clerk and Madam Chair, I'd like to co-sponsor, please.
Okay.
And let it be known, we can't do anything with this without passing the action plan. This is another one of those cart before the horses legislation.
I also would like to sponsor this legislation.
Okay.
in the hopes that I believe my colleagues and I will pass the action plan tonight, I would like to make a motion. Or should I? I'd like to make a motion to adopt, I'd like to adopt resolution number 43-21. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number -4321.
Any second
I second that.
discussion?
No, I'll say this, McGregor has been a plus for our city for years. And I've been up there over a couple of times over the last month or two, and they're doing some great things there. We sent a letter to move this forward. This is a situation that there should be no hesitancy in this. So I'm totally in favor of passing this legislation. Thank you.
Okay. Call the roll, please, Madam Clerk.
Counselor Austin,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Resolution 43-21 has passed. Next, we have Resolution 44-21. A resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Teresa Holmes under the Neighborhood Next Door Ordinance and at the cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 14112 Scioto, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112, permanent parcel number 67112-044, and declaring an emergency.
Anybody want to sponsor?
I'll sponsor.
I'll sponsor it.
I'll co-sponsor.
Teresa Holmes, I move that we adopt resolution 4421 to move for to adopt.
Second.
Quick discussion, please, Madam Chair.
Yes.
Everyone, I have no problem with, I love residents getting neighbor next door property. I just want to know, has any of this been through the NAC? Because we know no one has been in front of council in the past practices. We had everyone coming from the council just to make sure we don't have another Noble Road dump type of situation. I'm sure none of these residents want to do a Noble Road dump situation, but we just want to I just want to stick with the script. And we love to, in the past, again, meet every resident that was looking to obtain a piece of property. So does someone answer, has any of these resolutions been through the NAC?
That's a good question. Is the mayor on?
No, I'm not
That's a
speaking
good,
for him. I'm saying
that's a
this
good
is someone else's.
question.
Thank you, Madam Gowdy.
Somebody there to speak on the mayor's behalf.
Councilman Smith,
Yes, sir.
I don't know the answer right now, but I'll surely find the answer tomorrow.
Can I make a comment to Counselor Smith also?
Yes, sir, please. Thank you.
Is that all right with you, Councilwoman Gowdy?
Yes, you can.
Great. Counselor Smith, we did have a contracts and property meeting last week where all of the persons that have a parcel listed on this agenda came before council and expressed what they would like to do with the property. So
Great.
I can't address whether it made through the NAC, but I would expect that in order for this legislation to make it through the law department, that it came to us in a legal fashion and it followed the order of travel for the legislation. So more to follow.
Absolutely. Okay, well, thank you. Okay, they came in from the council. Thank you. I'm good. Thank you.
Victoria, can you change it so you could share the screen with me? Here, let me do it. And I can maybe help answer Counselor Smith's question. I have one of the applications right here.
Well, thank you, and because of time and everything, and I see a lot of the residents that are interested in Neighbor Next Door, they are online now. It's my fault that I wasn't available the other day. They are online now, so I thank you, Madam Clerk, but I believe my mind is very clear. Plus, I rode over and saw all the pieces of property myself. I see that they are well maintained and well kept. So my mind is clear, Madam Clerk. Again, I see a lot of them online tonight as well. Thank you.
Yeah, you know what, Counselor, I'll give you a call later.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Will you please call the roll?
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Sorry about that. Yay.
Counselor Austin.
Yay.
Is that a yay?
Yay.
Thank you. Resolution 44-21 has passed. Okay. Next, we have Resolution 45-21, a resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Claudette Henderson under the Neighborhood Next Door Ordinance and at the cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 14105 Mayfair, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112. Permanent parcel number 67112-031 and declaring an emergency.
Madam Clerk, I'd like to co-sponsor.
Okay, hold up. I recognize Councilman Martin.
Madam President, I'd like to sponsor resolution 45-21 and move for its adoption.
Any second?
I second.
Any discussion?
No, we discussed this in the committee meeting.
Mr. Smith was speaking before you.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought I still had.
Hold up, order.
Okay, go ahead.
Councilman Smith, you can speak.
Thank you. I have no comment, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, call the roll.
Yes, let's call the roll. Let's move on.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Austin.
Yay.
Resolution 45-21 has passed. Next, we have Resolution 46-21. A resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Brandon Smith under the Neighbor Next Door Ordinance and at a cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 1852 Alverson, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112. Permanent parcel number 672-15016.
Madam President.
Excuse me, I would like to see if I would like to make this a first reading. Because I drove past there and I just need to see it again.
I think that's fair. It doesn't say first read or emergency. Oh, sorry. Can I be recognized, Madam Chair?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. To my colleagues, I think that's fair. If our colleagues say she rode past and she don't like all the way, she don't like 100% what she see. I think we could take our time on this.
Madam President,
Yeah.
I'm okay with this.
Okay.
Okay, so we think it could be a first read, so we can move on. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and I would like to make a motion. I know I can. I'm sorry. Can I have a motion?
Are we going to the next resolution?
I would like to pass my gavel to Martin.
Okay, I'm accepting your gavel, Madam Chairman, what is your pleasure?
I would like to make this a first read. I would make a motion.
So that's your motion? Is there a second to the motion? Is there a second? Is there a second going to?
Second.
Hello, this is Brandon Smith on the line.
Okay, sir, you can't speak right now. Okay.
Okay.
All right, it's been moved and second to put it on first read. Madam Clerk,
Okay.
I have, okay. What is, let's call the vote. Thank you.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Austin,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Okay, it passed. Let's move on. Okay.
Next, we have Resolution 47-21. A resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Donna Lynch under the Neighborhood Next Door Ordinance and at a cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 14004-06 Strathmore, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112, permanent parcel number 671-10134, and declaring an emergency.
Councilor Martin,
Yeah.
you gonna keep my gavel? You gonna pass
Yeah,
it
you
back
got
to
it
me?
back. I pass the gavel back to you, Madam
Okay.
President. Since you recognize me, I'd like to sponsor Resolution 4721 and move for its adoption, please.
Second.
Any
Emergency
discussion?
on that. See?
Any discussion? Please call the roll.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yes, yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Austin.
Yay.
Resolution 4721 has passed. Next, we have Resolution 48-21, a resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Timothy Austin under the Neighborhood Next Door Ordinance and at a cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 12605 Speedway Overlook, East Cleveland, Ohio, 44112. Permanent parcel number 672-02-101 and declaring an emergency.
Madam Clerk, I'd like to make a motion to change resolution number 48-21 to a first read. I just feel that we as council members should just take our, go through the whole process when acquiring property and just go through the first and second read.
I second that motion, Madam President. I second that motion. I also, if I have the floor, I know there was something that we're supposed to be getting from the. Okay, I second it. Okay.
Any more discussion? Can anybody? you want to
Now I can discuss.
Yeah.
I know there was a little unreadiness and we're supposed to be getting something from the Ethics Commission. I have Ethics Commission. And we knew that would take some while. So that, I remember having that discussion. Thank you, Madam President.
You're welcome. Any more discussion?
If I may speak,
Who's speaking?
this is Finance Director Charles.
Who are recognized?
Thank you. Just wanted to touch on that comment that Councilor Martin just made. So the law director on Thursday, June 10th, right after the meeting we had, properties contracts last Thursday, the law director sent an email to all council members and the clerks. The letter she has from the Ethics Commission. This particular letter she got from the Ethics Commission does not reference in particular about counselors, any issue a city council member getting property from the this program. But I believe at the time, Council President Stevenson was referencing that there's something in the charter which she didn't provide where exactly that was, but she is referencing something in the charter saying you can't do it. The law director provided this letter regarding the Mayor King at the time when he is on council, and basically the Ethics Commission is saying that when it comes to the charter and interpreting what the charter says, that they defer to the law director. So that was her response to that issue. I don't believe she has a particular Ethics Commission document in reference to Mayor King and purchasing of a parcel or when Mayor was on council, but is referencing other activities in their opinion. So just to say that this won't be anything else to be looking for in reference from the Ethics Commission outside of what the law director already provided last Thursday.
May I be recognized? This is the Assistant Law Director. Hello?
Yes, one second, Heather. If we have any document for Councilman Austin, I would like to see that. Reference to the Ethics Commission. Ms. Heather.
Okay. The law director sent out an email that had an Ethics Commission letter concerning Mayor, then Councilmember King's purchase of a property that contained an existing contract with the city. So they were looking at whether or not that was unethical. And they determined at that time that it was. They didn't see anything wrong with it. In reference to the city charter, under section 111, general disqualifications, it states, no member of the council, the mayor, or any other officer or employee of the city shall be directly or indirectly interested in any contract, job, work, or service with or for the city, nor in the profits or emoluments thereof, nor in the expenditure of any money on the part of the city and any contract with the city in which any officer or employee is or becomes interested may be declared void. So this doesn't say anything about, this doesn't say that a council member cannot purchase a property from the city. And I find no charter provision that addresses the issue at all. So I'm inclined to believe that to keep everything above board, as stated last Thursday, as long as Councilman Austin is not engaged in any discussions involving the property or any votes concerning the property, the council is free to vote for him to have that property.
Yes.
Yeah, the issue, I'm looking at it, and we discussed it before.
Legislature passed a new bill explicitly.
Who is that speaking now? Who's speaking? Okay. This is an emergency, is it not? Okay, so if it's an emergency, it has to have 4 votes. I don't think the 4 votes are there. So
No
what?
disrespect, brother. It's a motion on the floor to change it to a first read. I just wanted to remind you.
Okay.
Thank you.
But the issue was, when Brandon got the property, there was a lot of concern by the council. it was referred to the Ohio Ethics Commission, I remember it. And it to later, and they said that. So that's why we wanted to get something specific from them on the situation with Mr. Austin. No one's opposed to him getting it. Matter of fact, if he's maintaining it, he has a right to it as far as I'm concerned, as the other citizens. But the issue, we just wanted to make sure we did it right. So I haven't seen this email that was sent in reference to it, but according to Heather, it's not really speaking to the issue, is it not? Heather?
No, it doesn't speak to whether or not a council member can purchase a property. It spoke to whether or not a council member who purchased a property that had an existing contract with the city prior to that purchase could continue to either be on council or have that contract with the city. It was more about the contract with the city than the purchase of the property.
Right, and that's what the unreadiness. I can speak for, I think all the council, we're not opposed to Mr. Austin getting the property. We just want to do it properly. But we really need something saying that he can get the property. That's what we need.
And since it's not speaking like that, we need to go to the state law.
No, we need.
But I believe, if I may say, if the Ethics Commission was willing to sign off on then Councilman King continuing to have a contract with the city, I can see nothing that would negate Councilman Austin from just simply purchasing a property, which is a one-time thing.
We would just like to, we would like to have everything in writing so we can dot every I and cross every T. And that's where I'm at. And we can definitely call the roll now. Thank you to make it the first reading.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
To change to a first read, yes.
Counselor Austin.
Yay. He can't
I
vote.
recuse myself from this affecting this legislation.
I'm sorry, excuse me.
I recuse myself from any impact on this legislation.
Thank you. Motion to make Resolution 4821 a first read has passed. Next, we have Resolution 49-21, an ordinance to authorize the mayor to enter into a purchase agreement for the acquisition of city equipment for use by the Department of Service, a Vermeer BC 1800XL brush chipper in the amount of $66,359 and declaring an emergency.
Madam President, do I have the floor?
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I like to sponsor resolution.
I got you.
You already did, Mr. Martin.
Oh, okay. Is it 5021? Yeah, okay.
4921.
Okay, go ahead.
I'd like to sponsor resolution number 4921 and move for its adoption.
I thought you said I did.
Second.
Both of you did. They were looking for Mr. Marshall.
Right.
Yeah, Mr. Marshall, are you on? Counselor Gowdy had questions?
Well, it's fine. He is definitely on vacation too, so he's fine.
Okay. Yeah, both of your names are on there, counselors, Mr. Martin and Mr. Austin's.
Did I get a second to my sponsors of this legislation?
Yeah, your name's on it already.
No, I'm
You were
talking about, I
quick.
made a motion,
There's a second.
motion on the floor. I made a motion to sponsor this
Second.
legislation and move for its adoption.
Okay.
Second.
All right.
Any more discussion?
I'll just say that we have a lot of positive comments, and we think very highly of our service department. So we want our service department to have all the best equipment we can get them so they can do their job. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair, thank you. I just want to say I also questioned the service department about this piece of equipment. They said it'll be very helpful in their endeavors to try to maintain some type of cleanliness in the city of East Cleveland. So I definitely support this piece of equipment. Thank you.
Councilwoman Gotti, can I say make a note too?
Yes, you can.
Yes, this is actually a chipper. And what a chipper does, it breaks down some of the branches that will fit into the machine. So that basically makes it so you can use it as mulch. It is the in-state product. So this chipper is very necessary and it will help us with our leaf back machines so it wouldn't continue to break and get clogged by branches. Thank you, Councilman Smith. Thank you, Councilor Martin and Councilwoman Gotti.
Thank you very much.
Clerk, Madam Clerk, will you call the roll?
Yes, Counselor Gowdy,
Yes. Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Austin.
Yay.
Resolution 49-21 has passed. Next, we have Resolution 50-21. This is a resolution authorizing the mayor to transfer to Sean Herbens Asset Holdings LLC under the Neighbor Next Door Ordinance and at a cost of $100, a parcel of vacant land held by the city as part of its land reutilization program and located at 13500 Garden, East Cleveland, Ohio 44112, permanent parcel number 67105-160, and declaring an emergency.
I would like to know if I would like to know if this person is here.
Sean Herbens.
Is Sean?
Herbens here.
Is Sean here?
Yes, I am here.
Oh, okay, all right. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I would like to ask you, what do you want to use this property for?
Well, as of right now, people got cars parked in it and they're dumping stuff on it. So I want to fence it off and just clean it up a little bit and get the cars off of it.
Madam Clerk.
Did y'all hear me?
Yes, sir, we did.
Okay.
Madam Clerk, can I have a word?
You said Madam Clerk or Madam Vice President?
I'm sorry, Madam, Madam Chair.
Counselor Gowdy?
Yes.
Counselor Smith is asking for permission to speak.
Yes, after I asked if the chief. Partner.
Chief Gardner, I think Madam Chair is calling your name.
Okay, I apologize. Yes, ma'am.
This gentleman wants this lot. If we give this lot.
Ms. Gowdy, you're, speak up, Ms. Gowdy.
Okay, stop.
We couldn't hear you, Counselor Gowdy.
I said, if we give this lot to this gentleman today, could you make sure that all these cars is moved off the lot?
Yes, I mean, with the owner's consent, I can certainly do that.
Okay. Discussion.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Sean Herbens, thank you for being interested in taking care of your street and your community. I'm glad you came on to express that those were not your cars. Garden is one of my everyday routes, and I see the lot with the cars on it, and I honestly thought they were your cars. So I thank you for. I appreciate you coming to get our minds clear, and I thank the councilwoman for asking the chief to assist you. So please take advantage of that and thank you.
Well, I also think that the time on the street where you can't park from, I think it's 3 to 6 or something, kind of contributed to people parking there.
Madam President.
Can I have the motion to adopt this?
Yeah. Madam President, I sponsor legislation 5021 to move for its adoption.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, he just referred to the 3 in the morning and 6 in the morning. Maybe we can get Chief Gardner to have the police go by there and take a look at it, because you're not supposed to be parking on certain streets at 3 and 6 in the morning.
More discussion.
No.
Madam President. Okay. Madam Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Yes. Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Austin.
Yay.
Resolution 5021 has passed.
But to move these cards tonight.
Madam Chair, might I ask you a question?
Yes, when he gets in,
Did she say yes?
yes, you can.
Thank you. I just want to know, are we going back to resolution number 28-21? The action plan?
Well, we need a motion to make it the first read. Because it fell as an emergency.
Again, this is
So we
very,
have more discussion on, can I have a word also? On 2821?
Okay. It's for first read, 2821? Okay.
Negative.
Madam President, if I have the floor, resolution 2821 is very important. So if I'm willing to put a motion to make it the first read.
Is there any second?
I'd like to have a little discussion before we go too far, and I asked to.
Discussion is after the fact. It's on the floor.
Yeah, I need a second, Mr. Austin.
it already been through a first read, my brother.
Yes.
No, it happened.
No, it did not.
The motion is on the floor, please.
It was in the first read back in April.
Right now, right.
It was an emergency, so we.
The emergency.
Councilor Martin, can I ask about your motion?
Yeah, go ahead. What I'm looking at this, it says and declaring an emergency for the public health and safety. Put it down about an hour ago. Okay.
If I don't know if you can see if I put it up to the camera.
Do it. If not, I'll withdraw the motion.
Isn't
Right,
it
please,
on the screen?
Withdraw the motion.
I need a second motion, please.
No second is God for lack of stuff.
Oh.
It says placed June 1st
Yeah, I
as a
should
second
read that.
ring.
Right.
Okay, maybe I should read this into the record as far as where this legislation has been.
Please, Madam Clerk, please read into the record, please.
We received the legislation from the Law Department on March 23rd, and it was placed in the Finance Committee on March 23rd.
On the floor, clerk, please.
What
It's
was
a
my
motion on the
motion? What was
floor,
my
and
motion?
I don't care
Made
where it. We gotta make this
No,
a first
it's-
read.
No,
Can I have a comment on the legislation also, please? May I have a comment on the legislation?
Why?
There's a motion on the floor.
I thought I overheard the motion died. It wasn't properly second, so the motion never
Right.
actually confirmed as a motion.
Be talking over her when she talking. So that's why.
Can I make a comment, Councilwoman Gowdy?
Is there a second motion? Then we can go for discussion.
All due respect, we already been through a first read.
Technically, it's been through a second read.
We're gonna move on with this, Clerk.
I'm baffled. Do we know what this is holding up? Do you all realize what this is holding up?
Can I make a comment before we move on, please, Councilwoman Gowdy?
To
Ooh-wee.
That we put to the end,
Okay.
discussing and to make a vote on it. Since you don't want to make a motion, the second one, Clerk, will you move on? Thank you.
Madam Clerk, can I say something?
Can we look at the document here where it says the process?
I recognize Councilor Martin.
Okay, I read through this while we were talking, and it was the second read, June 1st. My question is, if we're going to move this forward and it's had a second read, it has to be an emergency. It's an emergency. But emergency, in order for it to pass, it has to have 4 votes. I don't
It's
know.
not an emergency. The word, you know how many times we voted to scratch out the word emergency? This is real simple. We vote to scratch out the word emergency. It's a second read. Vote on it so we can get our services.
Oh, no.
The people need our services. What's the holdup?
The remark.
We holding up the services.
On remark from the public.
Well, wait, what, Brother Smith, what are you saying?
How are we need the action plan, Brother Martin. Brother Martin, this has been
I'm not
on the second.
What I'm saying is, to you, is we need to move this thing forward. So what do you suggest?
This is a second read, my brother. We can vote to take the word emergency out if that's a problem. You know how many times we have done that? There's no problem. We can clearly see that it's a second read, Brother Martin. It been a second read. We all know that one individual is trying to hold this up, and I'm surprised that anyone else who is trying to hold this up. That one individual is not on the line anymore. We need this passed, period. Period. We have our law director and our community development director begging us, telling us all the, oh my God, the McGregor project.
Mr. Smith,
that's for one.
Mr. Smith, so if it's a second read and I see it in front of me as I read it, then it just needs 3 votes to pass.
Exactly.
Correct.
Councilor Gowdy.
Which it really passed earlier, but I don't know how we got talked into doing it over by someone who's not even on council.
Right, Councilor Gowdy. Councilor Gowdy, do you want me to shed some light on this? How many times?
I still have the floor, Madam Clerk. I still have the floor.
Oh, okay. I could shed light on what happened with this.
She know exactly what happened.
Yeah.
She know exactly what happened. We need this. You don't have to believe me, Madam Finance Director. Can you run down to the people, the services that we are missing out on? Community Development Director, somebody.
May I make a comment?
Down, but she gonna try to stop me. Can you run them down?
Ms. Gowdy, did you want me to explain it?
My goodness.
Ms. Gowdy?
Explain it, but I don't want Councilman Smith to say anything while you complain.
Okay, this is what happened. The original legislation came down, and then Mr. Leach had everything broken down, and then the finance chair thought more had to be into it. This is why it was going on for so long. So we sent back for more information. Mr. Leach tried to break it down for more information. He asked HUD what else needed to be in there. He tried to be more specific. More information was put in there. Then Mr. Leach found out that more information didn't have to be in there. So the legislation was changed again. That's where you will see where it came back again in May. Then they changed the legislation again. And then we once again found out that that information HUD stated didn't have to be in there. So, I mean, that's where it kept getting convoluted back and forth, back and forth. Well, now the clock started ticking. This needs to be signed and put back in there. So it really sort of got lost in the crosshairs. These numbers are correct. And that's where we had first read, and then it got taken off. Then it got put back. Then we were ready for a second read. Then it got taken off. Then it went back again. It came back on, ready for a second read. Oh, now it got taken off again. The numbers were still correct, but the information kept going back and forth, back and forth. So we're actually at a second read, but now it got to the point, we're down to the wire. Now it's actually, we need to pass it as an emergency because time is of the essence. So it's a second read, but it's also an emergency because time is of the essence. HUD needs this put in there. It's been on there
Now,
as
we
a
can
first
vote on
read.
one.
Right,
We can either vote on one, second read or emergency. It's
Right.
definitely an emergency, but
and
we
that's
can't
why
vote
it
on
looks
both
like
of them.
this. So I have a document that we could do it as, I can change it right now to do as a second read, or because, like you said, it failed as an emergency, so they can go back right now and, go ahead and change it to rescind it. And I can do it right now and show you on the screen, because I have that capability with software, and take it off as an emergency and just go ahead and pass it as a second read. It's not you guys' fault. It's just that this was one of those things because they kept going back and forth, back and forth. HUD said, okay, you need to do this. And then HUD came back and said, no, we don't. And then it just got lost back and forth, back and forth. And then go into council, committee, council. HUD said this, HUD came back and said no. So this is just one of those really weird things.
Hold on a minute.
Madam President, Madam President,
So it's up to you,
Hello?
Ms. Gowdy. If you want, they can rescind it, and I have a clean copy right now I can put up on the screen.
Good. Yeah.
what I suggested we need to do is, it's an emergency. Let's pass it as, if we got the 4 votes, let's pass it as an emergency. We don't want to hold up the money coming to community development.
Can I ask a question?
He asked for a question, Gowdy. That's Mr.
You recognize.
Thank you very much. And what I would like to do to clear up any misinterpretation and that we do things in decency and in order, I would actually like to put forth a motion to, because I'm looking at the actual body of the legislation, and it does say in the body of the legislation, be it resolved by the Council of the City of East Cleveland, County of Cuyahoga, and State of Ohio, 4/5 of all members have to be in concurrence for this piece of legislation. However, I think we should make a motion to change it from an emergency to a second read right now, and that kind of clears up any misunderstanding, and or the timeline would be positively impacted if we are able to make this a second read right now through this motion, and we can move forward and have normal business restored.
Yes.
Yes.
Is that Mayor Leach?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we wait for.
I'm coming with my motion, if you allow me.
Ms. Gowdy, could y'all please?
I would like to make a motion to change resolution number 28-21 from an emergency to a second read as it should be.
Do that. You cannot do that.
Yes.
Have to be the first read. To change it, it definitely have to be the first read. And I don't see Everybody talking over one
It was
another.
already a second read. It was already a second read. If you look at it was already a second read twice, or almost 3 times. Read. I don't know if you can read that. If somebody can read that, I really appreciate it. It's been a second read twice already.
It's definitely is what's before us right now. So this, we had to bring it back because it was emergency at first. So we brought it back. So this is the first read.
Look right here. It says second read on June 15th. This is June 15th today. It's a sad, if we had an agenda review, we would have seen that this right here needed to come out where it says 4/5, because it can't, the legislation itself conflicts. It says 4/5 vote here, and it says second read right here. So that's where we have to start having agenda reviews, and some of these issues will be resolved at agenda review, so we don't have to bring it before the people at the council meeting, because we missed the opportunity to get what is procedurally installed to prevent options like this. So this is a council misstep. So I just got this information out of my box today. I support the way that information is chronologically provided to us. However, if there is an administrative error, administrative errors can be corrected by motion without starting from zero. That's why that option exists. Consider, Madam Gowdy, or Councilwoman Gowdy, looking at the election before you, and let's take the appropriate action so the people. Thank you. I could.
I would like to remove
No. Here's where I'm at, guys.
I got a motion on the floor too.
Okay.
Motion is on the floor, but
what motion? State the motion, because I stepped out. State the motion.
I'd like to make the motion to change resolution number 28-21 to a second read as it states in the body of the legislation.
Can we do an emergency on this one? Do we? No, I'm asking.
Second read.
I'm asking you, do we have your vote?
I hope everyone understands that we cannot resurface
My motion so that we can
this.
get this done. I move that we make it a
Cannot pave short without this being done.
Or fund McGregor.
Or do any streets.
People of East Cleveland, I really hope you're paying attention. I really hope you're paying attention. We can't pave streets.
so we can pass it. I think we have the four. So
we can't pave streets. We can't support the McGregor project.
What is it, 50, what is it, 50, 2821? I move
If this is made an emergency again, it will fail, Mr. Martin.
Say what, Tracy?
If you try to make it an emergency, it might fail again. You have to be very sure.
No.
If this is made a first read, you're going to have to come back for another council meeting in 2 weeks.
Right, well, that's why I'm making it an emergency. I move, I'm passing it as an emergency. They voted up or voted down.
I got a motion on the floor.
No, it will fail and it'll have to get a new number, sir.
I got a motion on the floor.
Motion is resolution 2821 as an emergency.
There's already a motion on the floor, Mr. Martin.
What is the motion, Tracy? Because I stepped away for a second.
There is a motion to make it a second read.
I don't think that makes any sense. It doesn't make any, let's pass it.
Look at what the legislation said. It says a 2 read today already. Just didn't go all the way through making a correction, because this body says something different than this right here.
9 times out of 10, y'all is confusing y'all self. And I told y'all that we passed it as a,
It's an
y'all tried to
emergency.
pass it as a.
East Cleveland, as a resident, I'm
Not
disgusted
get
with
the full
this.
vote, because it's still confusion. And it's still confusion now, so it should never even be discussed no more until we come to agreement of what you really want to do.
And what you could
We
do
want to
tonight.
pass it on
what you
behalf
could do,
of the
pass it
people, so the
as
people can get services. That is what we want
the
to do.
emergency clause. You can come back right now and pass this.
It's simple.
And
It's
call
simple.
it whatever it takes to be passed.
It's simple.
If I may speak,
I don't see what the.
East Cleveland, as a resident, I am disgusted with all this arguing and egos. Pass it so we can get things in our city.
Yes, pass it. If we need it, pass it. Yeah.
Pass the legislation.
so you need 4 counselors to pass it.
Thank you, people of East Cleveland. My God, thank you.
I mean, if it's gonna help the city, we need it. If the other legislations ain't gonna pass if we don't vote this one. That's
And guess
common
what?
sense.
If they don't pass our legislations, we gonna get them at the ballot box.
Okay.
I'm not saying that, no, that's-
All right, I ain't even.
So, it's the remarks from the public.
Yeah, you got anything?
Councilwoman Gowdy.
Councilwoman Gotti, so you are really going to ignore resolution
motion on the floor,
2821? You are really going to ignore the people of East Cleveland?
From the public.
Excuse me,
Okay,
Councilwoman Gowdy.
I have never seen such confusion in my life. If you got the thing on, I have never seen such confusion.
Otis
Councilwoman
Mays,
Gowdy.
you are not even supposed to be in that office. It's not your turn to talk.
I just been recognized by the president.
We are still
Speak.
on,
So you need to
it's
be
still a
quiet
motion
now
on the
and listen.
floor.
Maybe you'll
Councilman
learn.
Austin has a motion on the floor.
Oh, the shit.
He keeps saying.
Mr.
There's
O'May,
a motion on the floor. Come on now.
Councilwoman Gowdy.
There's a motion on the floor.
unless
Councilwoman
you're a
Gowdy.
counselor, please be quiet.
Councilwoman Gowdy.
What do you think?
Councilwoman Gowdy. I can't hear you. Can one of the clerks put resolution number 28-21 up on the screen so everybody can see the administrative disconnect in the legislation?
Can you
And then-
see? Okay, I
There
only,
you go. Yeah, how we keep track of it. There you go.
Right, and do you see at the bottom where it says, as of today, it's a second read?
it's been it's been 3 second reads.
Right, but today is earmarked as of today's date as a second read.
All you have to do is
Right.
Scroll up a little bit so I can see the bottom of it. It says today, a second read. See
Correct.
that? So if there is something that somebody missed, an administrative action that was missed, at some point, we have to acknowledge those administrative errors, if you will. Like Councilor Smith said, you either draw a line through it and follow through with the rest of the information. I am a reasonable person.
Is there,
And I
can I
read
put a
the
motion
information
that we
and I pointed
pass?
this out.
Let's do it as emergency. like
Emergency.
he said.
That's what I've
And
been
I'm
talking about.
So again, I would like to ask as a body to actually read the information before us. And when you read the information like I did, that's why I have such consternation, because I read the information and it says in one part of the information, this is what we're looking at. Because if it became official in the last string.
Austin, you're going in and out. I can't hear you well.
If everybody mute their mic, it will stop me from going in and out.
Mine's is muted.
Okay, great, thank you. If you follow the text all the way through the last thread where it says 15 June, it is a second read, and stop right there. If you go back to the body that was not changed, could somebody mute that person? Thank you. And the body of the information in error and number where it says not now, therefore, that's where the information was either not change like it was supposed to. That's all, somebody just missed the opportunity to change that. That's it. There's no, and it's only 2 pages worth of information.
Mr. Austin and Mr. Smith, if I put a motion to do emergency, we have the 4 votes. Are you comfortable with that? Well,
There's
I trust
already
my
a motion
vote.
on the floor, sir.
You know what? Let me do this. I know how important it is for the people's needs to be met. I will rescind my motion so that the people's needs may be met. I am 100% confident in my want and desire to meet the needs of the people. I know how I'm gonna vote.
okay.
That's it. So
If you rescind yours, what I'm going to do so we can pass this, I'm gonna put in an emergency and the 4 votes are there.
Officially call it and I second.
I move resolution 2821 to an emergency.
I second. I will second. I second.
Do we have a motion on the floor to rescind the original vote?
To make it a
This is an emergency, Tracy.
Yeah, I know, but we need to rescind the original vote.
I made the initial motion to rescind the original vote, and I guess we should vote on that and then allow the
Right.
Councilor Martin to sponsor the legislation, move for its adoption.
Correct. Let's do it that way first.
Let's vote on the rescinding. Go ahead, Madam.
I second on the rescinding of the vote on resolution number 28-21.
Okay, Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Counselor Gowdy,
Come on, guys.
yay.
Counselor Martin,
Yes, yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Austin.
Yay.
Motion to rescind original vote has passed. Next, we have a motion to change the legislation to emergency.
I put in the motion to change 2821 to an emergency.
I second.
Okay.
Roll call.
Call the vote. Counselor Gowdy,
To
Emergency,
make
right.
it emergency, is this to make it?
Yes, ma'am.
yes.
Okay, yes, I will make it emergency with them.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Smith,
Yay.
Counselor Austin.
Yay.
Motion to make legislation an emergency has passed.
Okay. I sponsor legislation 21 to move for its adoption.
I second.
Call the roll. Can I call the roll?
Yes, go ahead.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yay.
Okay?
Yay. We're making an emergency.
Yeah, we want to make it emergency.
Yes, that's what she's asking for.
No, she's calling the roll now.
Yeah, she's following the roll. We need your vote.
To make it emergency.
Emergency, yes.
No, to pass it.
No, yeah.
To pass it as an emergency, what we just talked about.
Name.
No, Gowdy, we have to vote yay on this. You're making it so that we don't lose this money. You're getting distracted.
Kick old Mays out.
I am confused.
Okay, we're voting for this, the action plan. Okay, it has to be an emergency so it becomes law. If we do it the other way, it'll be 30 days. So we have to vote to get this passed. We got to do it now.
That's so you don't lose the money.
Or we're gonna lose the money. Come on, help her.
Yeah, because y'all.
We gotta vote. We need to vote for it as an emergency. They can come back. Let's get the other votes. Madam Clerk, call a roll and come back to the council president, the chairman right now, for her vote.
Counselor Martin,
Yay.
Counselor Smith. Counselor Smith, you're muted.
Yes, yay. My apologies.
Okay.
Okay, Counselor Austin,
Yay.
Counselor Gowdy,
Yeah.
Yay, she said yay, please.
Resolution 2821 has passed.
Thank you.
Finally.
Okay.
Madam Clerk,
Yes.
Madam Chair, might I be recognized, please?
You run the meeting, Gotti.
Yeah.
Madam Chair,
No, what else?
Madam Chair.
Yes, you are ready.
Thank you. I just want to deal with Euclid Avenue. I want to make a motion to waive the 24-hour rule and add ordinance number 51-21 back to tonight's agenda as an emergency. For those of you who don't know, that's dealing with the completion of Euclid Avenue. This piece of legislation could have got passed last week, but because of situations like you saw tonight, it didn't get passed. It actually got took off the agenda by Corinne Stevenson by herself. I believe all other council members are in support of this piece of legislation because we need this piece of legislation in order to finish Euclid Avenue. So again,
Second.
I make a motion to waive the 24-hour rule to replace ordinance number 51-21 back on the agenda as an emergency.
And I'd like to co-sponsor and second that motion. I second the motion.
And this is so we can finish Euclid Avenue. Madam Clerk, it has been motion and seconded.
Is there a discussion or can we call a roll?
Yeah, you're right. These changes on this one, the other ones I've spent a lot of time reading it so I can deal with it comprehensively. But this one, I don't have enough information on this. And I'm not opposed to it, but I can't vote on something I don't feel that I have enough knowledge about.
To replace the water lines.
Let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay, yes, sir, yes, sir.
From the administration on why we held up this about a year or two ago to make sure that we had everything done under the streets of Euclid and all like that, so that we have to go back under it. So why now are we going back under Euclid Avenue when the whole talk the last few years was that we were going to make sure we got everything done before we paved it? I need some answers about that.
The engineer is here and I'd be glad to address those if you'll allow me.
Well, you got to address it for me if you want to get my vote. I don't know why this is coming up now. Please explain to me why.
Do I have permission to address the?
The chair recognizes.
We have not waived the 24-hour rule, so we would not. We would.
Let's
Time.
we wait on the vote right now.
Yes, we just wait on the vote to waive the 24-hour rule. We just waiting on, yes.
Can I call the roll?
Please.
Councilor Martin?
Call the roll.
Nay, because I don't know enough about this. Okay.
Councilor Gowdy? Councilor Austin?
Yay.
Councilor Smith?
Yay.
Motion to waive the 24-hour rule has failed.
Mm-hmm.
Can I provide some information about this piece of legislation?
We cannot discuss anything else. We got to move on, and I'm just.
I want to provide some, can I at least talk about the fact that the process to have Euclid Avenue completed is being held up by this particular piece of legislation. And they're already out there with their equipment on Euclid Avenue right now to start the process that would allow us to get the infrastructure addressed and no cost to the city. Or if we can let our engineer talk right now, it'd be great, at least for information's sake.
Councilman Austin, you are definitely out of order. Is now the remarks from the club league.
Yes, I'd like to hear the information about the infrastructure and the completion of Euclid Avenue as a resident of East Cleveland, because I'm
Ma'am, are you there? Hello? Looks,
Hello?
yes, okay, we couldn't hear you for a minute.
Yes, I'd like to hear the information about the repair of Euclid Avenue, because I'm tired of driving over man covers and potholes and damaging my vehicle. All the streets that need a repair need to be done so that we can get this city back to where it needs to be. I don't understand why we can't get simple information out to the public. We need to hear this information and we need these streets repaired. Why does everything have to be up for an argument? Just get the things that need to be done for the city completed. Thank you.
Ma'am, no due respect, this is $180,000. If we do not have the correct paperwork on this, and until we get the correct paperwork on this, then we will move on with the project.
Let the man speak. He just said he had information. I want to hear it.
He cannot speak unless it's on the agenda.
This is why East Cleveland is as raggedy as it is, because y'all don't know what you're doing.
Need more residents.
Yes. Just so
Yes, hello. Hello, this is Brandon Smith on 1860 Alverson, looking to get a little bit more clarification on the neighbor lot reutilization program that you all discussed earlier this evening.
Okay. We will answer that at the end.
This is Brandon Smith.
I mean,
From resolution 4621.
You have to answer it at the end when everybody have spoke, the public.
Make it 5121 because we never got.
I'm sorry, this is the public speak. I didn't hear that clearly. What was that again?
We would like to answer you at the end, so you can continue talking. We'll answer you.
Okay.
It's in reference to the discombobulation, and we have council not respecting the chair and nor just talking over, and it's just a bunch of confusion. I have never encountered a council meeting like this, and I think I've been in this city longer than perhaps anyone here, because I was here when the white folks was here and chairing meetings and so on and so forth. And I only saw one blacks at that time, and only one black was sitting up there, which was Professor Johnson, and then Reginald Raines came second. So, but anyway, my problem is this, that the discombobulation, confusion, and talking over, and people do not recognize their responsibility, and to please, or can I, please let me speak without you interrupting me, please. As I was saying, that I can see, and I agree with the lady, I can see what's happening in the city and how it's going to hell in a wastebasket, what have you. Because people are only scenery that they understand is tearing down. No vision to build or what have you. And then with the legislation, you need to understand legislation. If you have brought it before the council before, and you've sent it back, what have you, it should have a new number when it come back before council again, and not having the same number and you amending this and amending that to it. So that is totally wrong. Secondly, no one can encourage others to vote on something and change their votes or whatever. They have voted, and if it didn't pass as an emergency, you missed it. You didn't get the 4 votes, which is required, and so you have to bring it back at some other time, some other point in time. or whatever, and the things that you can move the emergency clause from it and vote on it and get your 3 votes. You still passed it. It takes 30 days for it to go into effect. Secondly, we need to respect the chair. You need to respect each other. You need to respect your community. The people in the community. You serve at the behest of the people. And so if we're not satisfied with your service, then we know what to do. So I'm saying to this council, read your charter. When something has an emergency clause, it requires 4 votes. If it fails, you can bring it back some other point in time. You can't just jump up and bring it back if you don't have the votes in the same meeting. Secondly, or thirdly rather, I'm thoroughly disgusted, some of you, because some of you know differently and better. But it removes all doubt when I hear you discussing things and the charter says something different. If the charter says this is what happens, that's what goes. No council can change the charter. Only the people, the electors, can change the charter. And so I would implore you to read your charter and give each one respect. If you're not recognized, don't just talk out of turn. I realize Gowdy is young on this council or what have you. And some of you have been here and still doesn't know. It's strange. It's sad. It's sad. It doesn't speak well for us. And I know a council asked me to explain something, and I have no problem of doing that. I think I pride myself in knowing the charter and knowing the laws, how they operate. And I'm just going to end with this. I have seen councils. I have seen mayors. I have seen law directors. I have seen directors and other folks go to jail. But what? Over contracts and not want to listen to them. I'm hard-headed. And some of them that went to jail, they say, you told me so. That's all they could say. You told me so. And I try to help. And I have had people to tell me, why do you keep bumping your head up against the wall with this council? Because I love the city. I love the city. And I want to see that we can do some things.
It's over 4 minutes, time limit. Next person, please.
Next.
Well, you always talk.
Yeah, this is
I'm sorry,
Brandon Smith.
it really is 4 minutes, sweetheart.
Too long talking.
I was interrupted too.
Yeah,
don't
I'm
interrupt you.
still
I
waiting
love
to get
you.
an answer for my resolution that was brought up today. Hello?
Your name?
Yes, this is Brandon Smith. I was on the resolution today. I'm calling to get a further understanding of why my lot wasn't on emergency when it was discussed last Thursday, and why it did not pass this evening, or what further questions I can answer.
Well, we was told, I was told to let you know that we will be speaking about that at the end. Thank you.
I'm sorry, I'm not hearing clear.
The end of the meeting.
At the end of the meeting, we will discuss the matter.
Oh, okay, I didn't know. I thought it was open to the city. Thank you.
Next resident, please state your name.
Good evening, Council. Kelvin Irby, 14802 Elm Avenue. To listen to this meeting, to listen to how each other was treated, to listen to how resolutions, and the chaos. Y'all not understand the reasons that you are in a position. Do y'all not understand that, like Mr. O'May says, you can't go to jail if it's not done correctly. Every law has to be down to the wire, to the line, to the minute. Every contract has a beginning date, an ending date, and it has how much it costs, and it has everything stated that is supposed to be in a contract. For to hear y'all up here arguing for simply he say, she say, this or that, and none of it got resolved. Right. And to make a point, you all were voted to speak for us. And if the voices that you guys hear amongst yourself, if you do not hear it from us, then you just violated everything that we have ever worked hard to keep those in a position of power. It makes no sense. And then things that we qualify for, we cannot get. We don't have the money to do it for ourselves, and outside entities are giving us the money, but we didn't cross our T's and dot our I's in the right form or letter or line. And then to hear something backwards, it still doesn't improve East Cleveland at all. And if you guys don't realize today is not promised, tomorrow is just the future. Let's fix our future. It looks terrible out here. And it's a disrespect to see that our elected officials cannot come to a term to get this job done.
Yeah, I agree.
It makes no sense at all. And if we ask y'all to be our voices, maybe it's time to clear the entire house due to the fact that we the citizens are not getting what we ask you guys to speak for us to get. Because it's a shame that we don't have a paint program for our houses and they falling away. It's a shame that our streets don't meet our curbs. It's a shame that our kids don't get home safe because of the street factors, the police grants, and the vehicles are still damaged. It's a shame. Now, if you sit up there today and look at each other, you should be able to realize this is what you voted for without our approval. This is what you stated for personals. Have a good night.
Thank you. Next, anybody else? Okay. Remarks from the council. We can move on.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, I'd like to thank my colleagues, members of the administration, our great clerks, and as I say, each and every meeting, the most important entity in East Cleveland, I want to thank the people, our neighbors, my neighbors. Just want to address a few things. I really need it known that as far as situations like the paint program, our resident is right. And he is correct because we did not pass the action plan. Without the action plan, there's no paint program. To address the other resident about resolution number 28-21, resolution 28-21 was never sent back. It was took off the agenda by one member of council without the rest of the members of council even knowing. So I understand that the passion of members like O'May's, but the community see what's going on. I wish and pray and hope that you all, our great community members, start putting a name on it. Every time I sit up here and yell, and it's fighting for the people. And thank God, I'm very humbled that a lot of residents from Ward 3 are attend these meetings and have given me permission to yell and fight for the people when it's time to. There's no reason to hold up certain projects like the paving of Euclid Avenue, the construction of new buildings at McGregor, the resurfacing and revitalization of our civic center, the paving of Shaw, saying no to paving streets with CDBG funding. Yeah, I'm gonna yell. Yeah, because I'm passionate and I have permission from the people of Ward 3. As I look on this Zoom and I see who's all on this Zoom. So I thank you for allowing me to fight for your health, interests, rights, and needs. Again, yes, when I see projects that need to be done that have a deadline that's getting pushed back for no reason, I'm gonna yell. I'm gonna do what I have to do on behalf of the people of East Cleveland every time. And again, I thank you, the people of Ward 3 specifically, for allowing me and giving me permission to yell and fight for you, the people of East Cleveland. Ms. Walcott, I'll be to see you with the tear in my eye. It's ridiculous. But I do have one more thing to do before I go. I like to, as I attempted to do 2 weeks ago, I like to evoke Rule 23 and make a motion, Rule 23B, and make a motion to reorganize City Council and remove our current president, Corinne Stevenson, from that seat. Thank you. That's my motion on the floor.
Second.
It's been motioned and it's been seconded. I guess I should do the right thing and wait for the chair to call for the vote.
I do not agree of what you are doing right now. So
all you have to do is call for the vote and vote it down. We went through this last time. All you have to do is vote it down. No argument, no back and forth. There's a motion on the floor. That motion has been seconded. None of us are dictators. This is a democracy. Period. There's a motion and a second. All you have to do is vote no. We don't have to go back and forth. All you have to do is vote no. As the chair, you have to call for the roll. Them are the rules. All you have to do is vote no. Period. Madam Clerk, you could call for the roll. You don't have to wait for her.
Mr. Omaze and all the other advisors, it's time to step up because that is indeed
they quiet now.
Part of the process.
They quiet now.
Don't you wait now.
We call the roll. Councilor
You have to vote it up or down. It's simple. It's simple.
Councilor Gowdy,
I believe she has left the meeting.
Councilor Martin. Hello? Councilor Smith,
Yay.
Councilor Austin,
Yay. Councilor Martin left too?
He cannot run tomorrow at the Democratic Club, and I invite all residents, we are back in person, and I am so grateful. Tomorrow at the library, the Democratic Club meeting in person. They can't run in. They don't want to finish Shaw. They keep holding up all the projects in East Cleveland, and it's all on the record.
What
time? Not the entire council, period.
What time?
I gotta run and get the flyer.
5 p.m.
Oh yeah, I'll be off work. All right, at the library.
Yes, and council meetings will be back in person as well. I'm so grateful for the people of East Cleveland. You can see exactly what went on tonight. You can see who's holding up what.
Councilor Martin, are you online?
Oh, shut up.
Councilor Martin, are you online? We
Okay,
don't
I need to
quorum.
state as far as the motion to invoke Rule 23B has failed.
You don't have a quorum.
I
There is-
understand that. I see that.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to end the meeting.
Yeah, thank you, Tracy.
I'm looking, I'm scrolling through to see who we got left.
This time we're gonna end the meeting, adjourn the meeting. We do not have a quorum. The time is 8:51 PM. I thank everyone for attending.
Hello, is this going to be a address 4621?
My apologies on behalf of our chair. She left and didn't answer your question,
Well,
brother.
well, one thing for
Oh,
sure,
come
two things
on,
for
I'm a
certain,
resident.
they shouldn't be able to just leave the meeting. That's
This,
unprofessional. They're
this is
still
uncalled
residents.
for. This was not a
Please
good
keep
look
in
on
mind,
the city.
everyone, that they are running for mayor as well.
Victoria, could you please stop the meeting?
I am
So
doing
what
that,
is,
Tracy.
what's the process? Can anyone tell me what's the process?
Yes, I can. The